Hi, I'm Wiley Combs, Editor-in-Chief of News from Nowhere, and in this interview, in our series of video interviews of interesting people around Laramie, we're talking with Tim Chesnut, who is a county commissioner, a comedian, an information specialist, and I'm probably forgetting a bunch of other things. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Tim.
Great to talk to you, Wiley.
So, we're going to start out with just some details about how long you've been in Laramie. How long have you lived here?
I've lived here. I was born here, left when I was 1, came back when I was 12.
And if you don't mind me asking, how long ago was that?
12 was 78.
All right, and you've been here ever since?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done in this town?
I went to junior high and high school here, and I worked at a Mexican restaurant called Cafe Ole, where Corona Village is, for 9 years. Started as dishwasher, finished up as general manager. Then I worked at the Boomerang for 15 years, the first year as a sports writer, and 14 years as the general assignment photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And then also did a lot of sports. And then I've been a county commissioner for the last 17 and a half years.
And in that time, as a county commissioner, you've done many things, I'm sure, aside from being a county commissioner. What are some other odd jobs that you've been involved in?
Well, right now I think the coolest job I'm doing is I'm archiving the negatives for the from the 1950 Boomerang papers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool. The other day I found the negatives where Doc Knight was designing and building the Tyrannosaurus Rex that's outside the Geology Museum.
And for those who don't know, who is Doc Knight?
Doc Knight was a geologist at the University of Wyoming.
And
famous. He's written books and stuff. He's a very famous geologist.
And did you just, I assume that you've just kind of fallen into these sorts of gigs, right?
Yeah, with that, I've been real involved with the Laramie Plains Museum and the Albany County Historic Society. So when they found the negatives, they asked me if I'd go through them and archive them.
Okay. And what's this Laramie Historic Society? I've never.
Albany County Historic Society.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. It's just the county commissioners appoint members to it, and Amy Williamson has been really pretty much running the show for years, and they keep things going. So they archive the historical things about Laramie and Albany County, and they're always looking for projects. They did all the downtown buildings on the registry of historic places and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. What's the most challenging aspect of being a county commissioner?
All the push-ups. I would say probably it's when you have to make decisions that affect people's lives, especially friends that you know for a long time. That a decision that you have to make that it feels wrong, but legally you have to do it. And
right.
It's like, it kind of breaks your heart.
So, what kind of stuff does the county commission have jurisdiction over? Like
zoning, aquifer protection inside the county. That's probably the most important thing we do. We do all the contracts that the county has with all the entities. Anything that's basically we control the budget, so we decide like how the departments get their individual budgets. So there's 7 different departments in the county, and then there's also there's 7 elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much run their own shows, and then as commissioners we divide up the other departments on who we oversee. I pretty much have the alphabet soup. I do GIS, IT, courthouse maintenance, and HR.
Okay. And so you get to decide where all the money goes.
Right.
Where does that money come from?
It comes from a lot of different sources. One of our main sources is PILT money. It's payment in lieu of taxes. So the federal government, since over half the county is owned by the government,
mm-hmm.
we get and it's always tenuous, and we don't know until like the last day before the budget's done, usually whether or not they're going to fund it. And so we get about $1 million from PILT. We get a few $100,000 from sales tax, and that's money that we don't use for operations. It's just money that we use for basically outside agencies. We use it for buying equipment, buying computers, police cars, sheriff cars, road and bridge equipment, things like that. And property tax is where most of the money comes from.
Okay. And what's your district, ward?
We don't have a ward countywide.
Countywide. So are you just an at-large position?
Yes.
Then? Okay.
Yeah, it's so the Albany County Commission has 3 members. Many of the commissions in the state have 5 members. Usually the county commissioners are elected from within the city because Laramie has all the population. So usually it's a bunch of city slickers. Like Jerry Kennedy was the only one since I've been on that was a rancher from up north, and he took second place in the primary, so he's not going to be back on again.
No. And how did you do in the primary, sir?
I'm not up for election this time.
Oh, you're not?
No.
So
Tim Sullivan's seat was open because Tim decided not to run, and then Heber Richardson and my seats they come up in the off election years.
Oh, so there's a rotating...
Right.
Okay. So, excuse my ignorance on these matters. I should probably know more about this. So you do...
The county commission is something that no one knows what you do.
Okay, well that must be a very relaxing.
I go and talk to classes at junior high and high school, and I'll ask the kids, "Do you know what a county commissioner does?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "God, I wish you were going to tell me. I thought I was going to finally find out what a commissioner is."
So you do other things though aside from the county commissioner position. Let's talk about your comedian side gig.
Yeah, I've been doing comedy for about 3 years. I started with Laramie Tropes Burlesque, doing comedy, and then I go down to, about every 6 to 8 weeks, I get on at Comedy Works in Denver, and I'll be opening for Gallagher on September 28th.
Okay.
So make sure you buy your tickets from me, because I get a portion of the proceeds.
So where's that show going to be?
It's going to be at the Cowboy right now, but if we can sell over 900 tickets within the month, then we're going to move to the fairgrounds.
Okay. And what about this? What about some other stuff that you've done around here? What do you do for fun?
So I'm working. Oh, for fun, I have a hand cycle. I ride my bike around town. It's awesome. It's a 3-wheeled hand cycle. Pedal with your hands basically. And I do a lot of that, and I don't have TV, so I'm out all the time doing different things. I love doing trivia. They trivia nights at the Alibi and the Crowbar, and then I also love to sing, so I do karaoke about 3 times a week.
And I'm sure that people can hear your bird in the background.
Yes, that's Fiona that you're hearing in the back of it. She just squawked.
And how did you obtain that bird? I think that's an interesting story.
It is, yeah. My girlfriend, she lives over here on Rainbow, and the lady who lives 2 doors down from her is really nuts, and she kept that bird in a cage for 3 years straight. Never let it out. So when my girlfriend let the bird out, it flew over and bit that lady in the lip. So it bled. So I was in the hospital right then, and they came up to visit me, and the bird fell in love with me. It flew over on me, landed on me, it was walking on my shoulders. It just loves me. It'll clean my teeth if I'll let it. It's insane.
I feel like Fiona knows that we're talking about.
I think she's really smart. She knows.
Well, I assume as much since, she hangs out with you.
Yeah. And I took her up to What Fest a couple weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, What Fest is
She was kind of the hit of the party. She let kids pet her and hold her, and it was awesome. She's never done that before.
Yeah, it takes some getting used to. Do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about as far? It sounded like I cut you off there. You have other jobs that you do around here as well?
Yeah, I'm working at the Summit Rest area at Lincoln Monument, just basically telling people about the place I love, Wyoming, and where to go and how to get there.
And so what's your official job title up there?
I'm an information specialist.
And so you deliver all kinds of information to people who have none.
Yeah, basically the state is brilliant in the investment that they made on these information centers. I mean, there's a museum in there, there's all sorts of information, and I love especially to talk to the kids and tell them some of the cool stories. Like we give out these posters. This is the fish poster, and all you have to do is attempt a trivia question, and you win a poster. And there's all sorts of, and there's the one I love giving out the most because it's there's 6 toads in Wyoming, and the one on the bottom left of the toad poster was thought to be extinct in 1998, and Chris Baxter's grandfather was walking around the Mortenson Lake area and found the toad, and they introduced it back into the University of Wyoming research station, and they'd hoped to have 52 breeding pairs by 2005. 23, they had 52, and then they were hoping for 100 by 2010, and they found 152 out there. And so now this year they introduced 393 new toads to the system. So I'm expecting we probably got about 1,000 out there that was thought to be, and the toad is only found in Albany County, Wyoming.
Wow.
But this big, it's amazing. I didn't even know we had toads that big in Wyoming.
So that's an interesting factoid for our viewers there. What are some other interesting things that you found out in your time here in Laramie?
Oh, I just love or Wyoming history and things like that. I mean, I was a political science, international studies major in college, and I love history. So I love finding out just trivial tidbits about Wyoming history. Like the other day, we got a trivia question, and it was about there's a ghost ship that appears from Torrington to Alcova, and when it appears, what do you expect to see? And the answer was you're expecting that someone's going to die. Two of the men that saw the ghost ship, their wives were on the deck of the ship when they saw it, the ghosts, and the next day their wives died.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess we're getting pretty close to the end here, but I did want to give you the opportunity to voice your opinion. Let us know of anything that I haven't talked about that you consider important.
I guess basically the most important thing we do is we're dealing with the aquifer, protecting Wyoming's water source, Laramie's water source, and a lot of people think that the contamination is coming from the septic systems out in Sherman Hills, and I don't believe that's necessarily the case. But I believe it's probably coming from the dump, because the dump's on top of the aquifer, but the city doesn't want to talk about that. But where I'm concerned, where I'm focusing, where I'm going to spend my money is lining the channel on the interstate, because if the truck goes off in the wrong spot with 9,000 gallons of gasoline like it did the other day up near Cheyenne, it's going to go right into the aquifer if it's in the wrong place, because the recharge zone is right there at the base of the Laramie Range.
Right.
And it's that's the thing that terrifies me, because we have toxic waste coming through, and the interstate people have no idea what's coming through here.
Right.
Just trucks every day just pouring down that interstate.
So you're very interested in this environmental protection biz, huh?
Very much.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today, Tim, and thanks for inviting us into your home.
Great. Great talking to you, Wiley, always.
And keep an eye out for Tim. He's a man about town, so you'll probably see him somewhere. Once again, I'm Wiley Combs, Editor-in-Chief of News from Nowhere. We've been talking with Tim Chesnut, who is our duly elected county commissioner, amongst other things. And don't forget to view our videos on YouTube, also on the Facebook This Is Laramie page. And for all of us here at This Is Laramie, I'm Wiley Combs. Thank you.